It's the Bob Doyle Show. It's the Bob Doyle Show. A show.
It's the Bob Doyle Show.
Supporting the evidence
It's the Bob Doyle Show.
that what you're watching right now is, in fact, the Bob Doyle Show.
It's the Bob Doyle.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have done it. You have made your way here. You have followed your dreams. And they led you here. I love that about this show. That we are at the end of all of your dreams. Is that what I meant to say at all? I don't think so. Okay, folks, ladies and gentlemen, folks, all of you. I'll turn down that little bit of echo, just in case someone says, I hear echo, why? Well, sometimes I just like it. It's my show. I can echo if I want. 40 shows, folks. What a character. That's the name of this show. And this time, we're going to do it. But you know what I have to do first is I have to get you online. That's right. By bringing up this broadcast, hopefully, on this page. And that's it right there. I recognize the shirt. And Natty is here, and Dawn is here, and Charlotte is here. And oh my gosh, so much to say. So just give me 2 seconds while I do what I got. Do what I got to do, which will only take a moment, and then hopefully, ladies and gentlemen, you will be part of the show, and you are. It's always so nice when that happens. Okay, so again, let's welcome Natty. Let's welcome Dawn, Charlotte, right inside at the beginning of the show. I think that deserves a little something, don't you? And that is very little something. Has everyone got their coffee? Is it just me? Am I the only one? I know Dawn doesn't have it because Dawn is anti-coffee. Okay, folks, so let's get this done. And I don't want to make it sound like it's a chore, but Dawn is in the house, and so she deserves the recognition of allowing me to be a part of her CBD Talk podcast the other day. And you can still check out the replay by going to cbdtalkpodcast.com. And I think you should, because if you're new to that world, if you don't know anything about it, or if you just want to hear what Bob Doyle does when he takes over somebody else's podcast, you can check that out and be one of the multitudes who are flocking in to see that. And Dawn, if you want to put the link, you can do that. But nobody wander off until we're done here. We've got quite the agenda. Now, speaking of podcasts, hello, Sarah Jane Platt. Nice to have you here, as always. Now, I really need more people in here. Oh, that's what I was going to do. I was going to share. I have to share my own broadcast. I got to share my own broadcast. So allow me to do that. I have to do it on my timeline, because it doesn't happen automatically. We live in a wonderful world of technology, but for whatever reason, we can put a man on the moon, but I can't share to my timeline automatically when I go live over here. So I'm just waiting for the interwebs. All right, share. Now you can all do this too. Do I need to walk you through it again? Here it is. I'm on the show, and I click share, and then I click share again, and I'm going to click, and you go again. You can follow along at home. Share on a page you manage. No. Share on my timeline. Hey, it's us. That's enough. I think that ought to get him in here, don't you? It doesn't get much more enticing than that. Ladies and gentlemen, speaking of, Deborah Lee is here. Let's see how long she lasts this week before she has to bail. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, speaking of podcasts, and we were, by the way, I'm not just making that crap up. If you go back, I was just talking about Dawn's podcast. Let's talk about mine. Not this show. This is, of course, the Bob Doyle Show. It is what it is. But there's also a companion podcast, also called the Bob Doyle Show, but we throw the word podcast in on the end so as not to confuse you. I'm sure it's not at all confusing. We did our 5th episode last night. And when I say we, I guess I mean me and Dawn, because she's the only one who shows up live at this point. But she does. And that's why I go on her podcast or whatever else she asks. But if you go to bobdoyleshow.com/podcast, it will take you to this page on the World Wide Web. That then you can click on View in iTunes, and go right to it, and you can download and you can subscribe to these things and get going. Get on this train. You must get on the podcast train. Am I right? See, Dawn even said, as if I had said, take it, Dawn, she wrote, love your audio podcast too. It's kind of a different thing, but not much different. Now, I want everyone to observe how one thing is flowing into the other, because it's unprecedented on the Bob Doyle Show. So last night on the podcast, or whenever it was, night, afternoon, if you go back and listen to it, it was episode number 5. Okay, it was from October 6th. So those of you historians out there who are watching this later, or just watching this now and say, all right, I'm going to catch up on my Bob Doyle Show podcast. I'm going to follow his instructions. I'm going to get on this list. I'm going to start downloading these things so that the podcast can be dedicated to me, as it was Chef Tammy yesterday. If you want to know what I'm talking about, all you have to do is go listen to the podcast. It's so easy. And it's free. Did I mention that? It won't cost you a nickel to go listen to this podcast. Speaking of that reminds me. I'm determined not to get off track. Dadgummit, but I have to do this now. I have to do it now to test it. I'm so sorry. We're going to go over here and we're going to see if something is working. Then I have a whole nother announcement that needs to come before any of this stuff, unfortunately. So I'm going to bobdoyleshow.com, video blocks. That's a place where I get my backgrounds. This is bobdoyleshow.com. Any of you ever been here before? It's where we are supposed to be doing the show every week. And now it's working. Now I want you to see, this has just started working a few weeks ago. Okay, now that's not going to work, obviously. Let me see if I can mute that. So now this show, as you can see, is successfully being streamed over at bobdoyleshow.com. Now that is a big deal, okay, because I've always wanted that. Why is it a big deal? Because right underneath it, look, it's a chat window. And you can log in, you can sign in using Facebook or Twitter, and we could have this here. What does this mean? What's the implication, Bob? Why the hell are you even telling me this? Because one day, we can't be dependent on Facebook forever. Something could change. And trying to get people to go to facebook.com/Bob Doyle Show is a lot more cumbersome than saying go to bobdoyleshow.com. Are we in agreement? So now I can actually broadcast the show here on bobdoyleshow.com through Facebook. So it could still be there, but we can chat over here. But you'd have to come over here and chat. So let's not do it today, because then, well, I guess I could keep up with 2. I don't know. Let's probably not. But here's the really interesting part. Oh, where did it go? Okay. If you hover over this, if you go to bobdoyleshow.com and hover over the video window, this button appears. I don't know if you can read what it says, but it says donate with PayPal. Donate with PayPal. I wonder what that might do. I'm just throwing it out there because, right, we don't want to be tied to a platform. That's right. Now look, we're just going into infinity here. Isn't this fun? All right, let's go back to your comments. So yeah, a donate button. Do I really need to say anything else? I always thought it was just cool. We should test it, don't you think? Just to make sure it works. A donate button. How might I use that? I got an idea. So here's part 2, and then we're really going to get into the meat. Tomorrow, hi Sharon. Sharon, where have you been? It's nice to see you. What was I talking about? About the show, right? Podcast. I said something about a podcast, and then I showed you this. Donate, right? Tomorrow. Well, yesterday I said on my podcast that I'm not really normally one to call attention to the fact that it's my birthday, but I have definitely become a person who calls attention to the fact that I am a person who doesn't call attention to the fact that it's my birthday. That I have to admit. However, once again, I am in fact calling attention to the fact that tomorrow is my birthday. Why am I doing this? Believe me, it has very little to do with the fact that I just showed you a donate on PayPal button. Now, the reason I'm seriously telling you that is because I'm in this. I've created something of a situation for myself in that Lynn is out of town, and she's actually got my car. Her car is out of commission at this time. So unless I Uber somewhere, basically what I'm getting to is I made no plans. None for my actual birthday. None. I got nothing planned. No person I'm seeing, no place I'm going, no nothing I'm doing. Now Sunday, as I said yesterday, there's no need to feel too sorry for me because on Sunday I'm going sailing, and that is with friends and it will be fun. So it's not like I'm having this terrible, horrible, sad thing. It's not that. So let's just make sure that you're clear. I'm not going for the pity here. Yeah, so tomorrow, what I was thinking on my birthday would be maybe I'll get over myself and give myself a gift on my birthday and do my ukulele show thing. You know, like actually go live and play the uke for a while. And just for a while. And just hang and just do it in a relaxed way and not get all bunched up and not worrying about it being perfect. Hey, Bruno. And just, you know, it's just more or less like I'm just chilling, having a practice session, and you all are invited. Now, so here's the thing. If you like that idea, well, there's not, where the hell is everybody? I am not going to keep broadcasting on the Bob Doyle Show fan page if I can only get 6 people to the show. That's craziness. That's craziness. Before we had 25 more than this at least, sometimes. This is insanity. I'm a patient soul, but 6? What are we doing wrong? Okay, so but my question was, I wanted a bigger audience, a bigger pool of people to ask this, but I am thinking, do I do it in the morning, do it in the evening? Now let's keep in mind it's going to be Saturday. People are going to be having other plans anyway, but is it... Excuse me. Just slammed my iPad down on the ground. Yeah, that's right, Hicks, fix this. I like how Hicks fix rhymes. Haven't seen Robert in here yet. Let's scroll. Nope, no sign of him. He tells me it's one of his favorite shows to listen to. Today is Friday, right? Anyway, so morning or evening. Morning would be like, I'd want to get it done. So 10 a.m. Pacific time. What is that? 1 p.m. Eastern. And let's just say an hour. That's a long time. It may not go an hour. Just depends on how relaxed I am and how warm and welcoming the crowd is, and if they're willing to just let me just practice things that I'm not even prepared to do. Or do I do it in the evening when everybody's kind of on the other side of their day, kind of chill? Like I could go 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, where people are just kind of, whoa, what happened? Just everybody's just kind of chillaxing on a Saturday. Or are they out and not going to be wanting to listen to ukulele? So that's what I'm trying to figure out. Like what time to do it, in the morning or in the evening. Now, there's a part of me that would like to get it done in the morning so that I just go, okay, I did it. Whew. And then I have the rest of the day. Otherwise, the whole rest of the day is going to be this anxiety about doing it in the evening. But Dawn says evening would be better. But morning would be fab for Sarah Jane because I think she is across the ocean. Well, anyway, you can keep giving me feedback on that in your comments. I'm going to just assume that the viewership is going to pick up. Did everybody get their notifications? I did what I was supposed to do to send them out. Let me just see if I got mine. You know, yes, I did. I sure did. It's noon Pacific. On episode 40, you become a kind of Dr. Frankenstein as we bring a new life into being. So it did go out. And it went into the inboxes or desktops or Facebook messages of a handful of people. All right, let's get back. So that's it for tomorrow at some point. But I would like to know what I'm going to do either by the end of this show so that you will all know. So it's either going to be 10 a.m. Pacific or 6 p.m. Pacific. I think that's what I'm thinking. And if I don't get any votes, I'll just do what I feel like. All right. So while I was on the show yesterday on the podcast, I was talking about how I had just been on Periscope a few minutes before that, and was reminiscing about how when we first got started on Periscope, that Amanda Oleander, who does painting, was one of the first people out there, had hundreds of viewers and all this other stuff because people like to paint. So my little shtick was that I was drawing a picture to, to get hundreds of viewers in, because clearly that always works. And I was talking about how just do both right, Dawn. You're pushing me now. How hyper-realistic the drawing was. So I wanted to share. This is actually the drawing. This is the actual drawing that I did. The hyper-realistic drawing that I asked you all not to be intimidated by my talent while I was saying it. This is it right here. Huh? I know, it's like looking at a photograph, right? You're going, well, Bob, seriously, move the photograph. I want to see your drawing, right? That's what's going on here. So, what do you think? Pretty amazing, huh? So I thought, here, let me set him up in front of the camera. We'll just ask him what he thinks of his hyper-realistic look.
Well, Bob, I really can't answer that question because I'm just a drawing, and I've got no real brain in here or any sort of intellect. So, really, I'm not going to be very much help to you. I'm really sorry.
How about a 3D version of you so they can hold the brain? How are you feeling about the way you look?
Well, even I'm a little bit uncomfortable about this look.
Mm-hmm.
I think two-dimensional, sure. I can walk around, people can say, hey, look, it's a cartoon. Like this, just weird. Just, yeah, very uncomfortable. I would say that if I was forced to go out into the real world.
All right, enough of him. He talks too long. Doesn't know when to stop. Yeah, I know, Bruno. Realistic. Super realistic. Probably looks like somebody you know in your life. But speaking of characters, ladies and gentlemen, now we're going to finally do what I said we were going to do last week. I still wanted a lot more people in here, but we're going to have to just see what happens. We're just going to have to see what happens, and we'll go with it from there. So last week at the end of the show, I was sharing with you this piece of software called Facerig, which basically allows me to become sort of a puppet of myself, and then I can create my own virtual host who follows what I say and my movements and things like that. So I thought that what would be fun, what I thought would be fun is if we worked together as a team to create a caricature. I added an extra syllable in there just to make it my own. A character that would be a recurring character for this show. Someone we could, come to every now and then. Like we go to, this guy looks like a correspondent. Well, Bob, I've been studying the facts and I've come up with absolutely nothing. If I could have 2 or 3 more weeks, perhaps I could come back to you with some information we could all use. But right now, I got to say, I am at a loss. Right? Something like that. But we have so many choices. Shall we take a look at some of the choices? Let's do. I'm going to pop over here to Greenville. Now look, here's what we have to decide. First, we have to decide species, right? Are we going human? Are we going animal? Are we going monster? Are we going cyborg? Are we going... We could go 2D cartoon down here like this, but I'm not a fan. We got to go 3D, right? So man or woman... We have several choices. We got this guy who is, basically sort of normal looking. We got this guy who, again, just a relatively normal looking person. But then we can also jump over here. Now, this guy, of course, hosted the show. Maybe this looks familiar to you, this scenario. When I just wasn't myself that day. Hi. Now, see, you'll see that normally I have this moved out of the screen so you can't see it, because this is what the puppet controls. I click this and the hand raises and I can move it all around. And the other hand. And stick out the tongue. And then like that. So what we want to do, the name of this app, Deborah Lee Merchant, is Facerig. Facerig. And I get it on Steam. Steam. Just look up Steam and games and... Just look up Facerig for crying out loud. Okay. So let's get back in here and Let's see if we can make some choices, shall we? All right, hold on. We'll get back over here. It's a little bit easier to see. So then we have the creatures like the slug guy, who also made an appearance on the show. Hello, I can't remember how he talked. We've even got dinosaurs. Now that's practical, right? This right here, he's let's see. We now go to paleontology expert Rex Athon. Hello, I'm Rex Athon. My tail is swishing around off the screen, which is annoying. So let me just turn my body so that won't happen, and I'll move over this way. See, look at the flexibility we have. So yes, as you said, I am an expert on paleontology, but there's nothing going on in the news about it right now, so I'm just going to be on my way. So something like that. I don't really see him being a recurring character. Let's go back. Let's go back. Any food? So yeah, yes, Steam all the time. Hello, Rhonda Collins Green has joined. I have proof. Then we've got this. Now this one here, she's got a lot of potential, right? What if she was some saucy, smart ass kind of, she seems all sweet. Well, hello, dears. Welcome to the Bob Doyle Show. Come on in. If you smell something, it's because I'm slaughtering things. Something like that. I don't know if she would actually be slaughtering things. That's probably not really my style anyway. I'm not big into the slaughtering. I'm not even comfortable with the word. I mean, that is a word. Slaughter, that's a word that really sends the message. There's no mistaking that something is going on that you do not want to be a part of when you hear the word slaughter. That doesn't sound warm and fuzzy on any level. No one's getting that confused. I think you could say that to someone who landed on the planet for the first time ever. And if you said, I'm going to slaughter you, they would run. Or step on you, depending on their size. Can we get back to the task at hand? All right. I showed you Scary Clown Dude last week, right? I like him just because he's nice and creepy. We have seasonal folks, right? Like a snowman, sure. That makes sense. We could bring a snowman in the winter. We have whimsical characters like this pink fox. I think I showed you the hamburger last week. Again, a very, very practical character because, hamburgers are in the news all the time. May as well bring one in as a correspondent. And let's see. And we've got, where's the cat? There's a cat in here that actually looks pretty good, but I can't remember. We've got this thing. Hello. That's probably not the voice that would use. I'm guessing would not be hello. Although it could be for fun. Be like, why am I all leaned over? Why do I talk like this? Something's wrong with my voice box. Would somebody please come in here and help me? All right. So far, Dawn is the only. Now Robert Hicks is here. Dawn's the only one has put in any input. The first guy, who's the news guy, who I agree. The news guy, he just reeks of, I'm overconfident and I don't know what I'm talking about. Lots of comedic opportunities with that guy. Should we review? Whoops, hold on. I have to be pushing the right buttons here. Here he is. Hello, I'm Tom Canotal. No, that's Jerome. I don't know. Hello, I'm a special correspondent on things that are special. And if there's any corresponding to do, you've got the right guy in me. So, live from wherever I am, it's me coming back to you. All right, but we need to come up with, if we go with him, remember he has to have a name. Ron, you got a bad connection. We got to come up with a name. And now the other thing is, for whoever we choose, we have to come up with a backstory. Where are they from? What are their quirks? Right? We're creating somebody. That's why I called this Dr. Frankenstein, guys. We need creative input. And it can be silly, right? The whole idea is it's like we're just throwing suggestions at this guy, and I won't overthink it. You can say whatever. He's from whatever. He talks like this. He says this. He believes this. And I'll just say, okay, and I'll incorporate that and make that a character. Well, yeah, I need a story for the character, but for this particular character, whoever we come up with, I want to be a long-lasting, permanent, everybody knows when they see him or her who she is, what he is, what they're about. Because I'll always bring in characters and make stuff up on the fly. That's a given. I was just thinking it'd be fun to come up with one person who we all did as a community so we could all feel invested in him. But no, nobody decided to show up today except for you 6. Maybe everybody's over here at the bobdoyleshow.com where it is, like I said, streaming successfully. Let's show it again, if I can remember where. Right here. Look at this. bobdoyleshow.com. It is showing over here. But what's this again? Oh, a donate with PayPal button. Huh. I wonder what would happen if you clicked that. I don't. If only there were a way to find out. Anyway. So many things going on my telephone right now. This is also my phone, as you know, is sort of my cheat sheet too. All right, so look, are we getting anywhere with this, or am I just showing you a bunch of stuff? I think I'm just showing you a bunch of stuff. Maybe I was thinking about this in the kitchen before. Oh, excuse me, sorry. I was thinking about this in the kitchen before we got started. That perhaps what I should do is just say male or female, and then you say male or female, and then I just choose, and then I say human or animal, and I just nail it down that way, because this is clearly not working. So the hippie granny, yes, I like the hippie granny too. Let's go back and check her out one more time. I mean, I really think she does have a lot of potential. Where is she? Where is she? Where is she? There she is. She has a lot of potential for coming in and out at just the right time, saying just the right inappropriate thing. I think she should definitely go inappropriate at the end of everything she says. And she should definitely not talk like I'm talking now. Should she be from America? Should she be Southern? Should she be Northern? Should she be from another country? Should she have, what's her deal? Or is she just old-fashioned granny? But I don't think I want to just do old-fashioned granny. I think I want her from somewhere. I know, but I don't want to do a straight-up Mrs. Doubtfire either. She needs to have her own identity. And I definitely don't want to have her doubting fire or saying anything about Doubtfire. But she does need a name. She will need a name. So you know what? I've decided. We're doing this. She's the one. That's it. This is the one, ladies and gentlemen. We have made our decision. Granny is the one, but her name is not now. Now, Rhonda, right after I say, okay, we've decided, then you come in male. Unless Granny's backstory is she was a male. But that opens this show up to a lot of interesting publicity. Yes, the Bob Doyle Show features a transgender grandparent, a grandmother, comes on and disses people. Now, if that doesn't get people coming in to check out the show, I don't know what will. And then she could talk however she wanted to. Wouldn't matter. Tranny Granny, holy crap. I can't do that. I don't know if I can do that. Ugh. I don't know that I can do that. I don't want to be disparaging. That I really want to be careful of. That's not where I'm coming from at all. And this is not an area of humor and parody or satire that I have any experience with, and I'm afraid I would cross the line by accident. Maybe it could just be subtext. Like, we know it, but it doesn't come up that much. It's not like every time we have the conversation with her, it comes out that she's transgender. It's just every now and then, if you're not, you'd pick it up. But there are some of us, the diehard Fan Arena members, who know her story. Yeah, it's just no. I wouldn't. Oh, I would definitely never call her that. I would definitely never call her that. But the idea of referring to her as that was fairly funny. I'm talking about, of course, Tranny Granny. Nacho Nana. Okay, we can just Put her on the debate this Sunday. Oh, crap. That's right. It's your Easter egg. It's the thing. It's the fun fact that you know about. But we need a name. We need a first name. We need a last name. We need a where is she from, and ideally, like where is she from? I guess would inform her dialect. While we're talking about that, can I just say something? I don't like the word hate. We don't like to use that word. We got enough problems with intolerance in the world right now. But there's no other way for me to say it. I hate flies. I hate them. I do not see any purpose for them. They are annoying. They are disgusting. They are, did I say annoying? And then disgusting? Did I say those two things? Because those two things are what they are. When I came to California, my fly problem virtually vanished. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what kind of a stomach you have. No, dislike intensely is not enough, Dawn. Dislike intensely. Be throwing them surprise parties if I only dislike them intensely. The house I lived in Atlanta developed an issue where flies, these certain types of flies, got into the walls every year and then would come out of like the vents or something and then just cluster around the windows. I believe they were called cluster flies. It was the most horrifying thing you can imagine because there's like every day hundreds running around with a vacuum cleaner sucking them out of the sky. That's literally how I did it because there was no freaking way I was going to be smashing them. Hi, Robin. Nice to have you here. I hope you're doing well. But can someone please explain to me? I mean, look, I like to think that everything in the universe exists for a reason. There's a balance. There's a whole thing. With bees, there's a fly in here right now. It's right here. It's taunting me. With bees, we know at least the pollen thing, right? We need the bees. We may not like them very much because they're ouchy. They have stingy, pointy parts. But flies, they just stink and get in your garbage and create the most disgusting smell you can possibly imagine. All they do is inspire the gag reflex. But see, spiders, they serve a purpose too. They freaking eat the flies. So bravo, spiders. Let's hear it for them. Just, stay out of my sight and we're good. But flies, no. But somehow, some way, I think maybe, I don't know, we had a lot of heat here in Marina del Rey the past few weeks or so. And probably me. I probably left a screen door open or something. And now we've got these two flies flying around. I got one. Oh, yeah. See, with some spiders, I'll actually lift them up on a piece of paper and let them go. I'm not a big spider squisher. It's too much to squish. It's too much going on. You know what I'm saying? Okay, Granny Marie Anthony. She is not your typical granny. She loves skateboarding and does skydiving. She has 40 grandsons and 35 great-grandsons. I'm liking this woman. And she's got a very prolific family. Is that the word I'm looking for? Frida, Gertrude, Estelle. These are all names. I will take all of these into consideration. Loretta, did you hear me that tomorrow is Uke Day? And so Loretta's been asking. That's why I keep, So it's either 10 a.m. or 6 p.m. Pacific. Dawn says I should do both. I don't know. Yeah, I tell you what, if I feel like doing it at 10 and I come on there and nobody shows up, it's like, all right, fine, 6. And if it's awesome, then maybe I don't do 6. Or maybe I do. I don't know. Depends on how much fun I have. But I was saying that the spiders go up the vacuum cleaner. Oh, well, yes, that would be the other way. If I couldn't get them outside, vacuum cleaner. Yeah. Oh, God. Anyway, Sorry to share my flight to think to you and get that whole thing in your mind. God knows it's not even fun to think about them. Agatha, Edna, Helga. Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, let's take another look.
Hello. Hello. Hello, darling. Hello. I'm Agatha, Edna, Helga. I'm not your typical granny. You know what I'm saying? I got 40 grandsons. Pardon me. I got 40 grandsons, 35 great-grandsons. You do the math. That's a lot of, that's, my family's busy.
I don't know. I think that would be hard on my throat. I don't know that I could keep that up. No, but Agatha, Edna, Helga did. Dawn. She said to take it used to smoke. Oh, that's the close-up shot. See how close-up we are? That's what I meant to do. Because, we got all these cameras in here. We've got the camera 1, which you're looking at right now. We got camera 2, which is this one here. Back to camera 1. And then, of course, we got camera 7 over there in the studio. Hello! That's not how she talks. And she loves her Jack Daniels. Are you a drinker? I'm looking at her over here in the green room. This is her in the green room. Hi, I'm in the green room. Where are you? What color is the room you're in? Ha! Yeah, we're going to need to nail down the voice, for sure. She might smoke under today. I don't know. She might be one of those women who just has the cough and doesn't her way into it. It's a possibility. Well, I guess we should know that. All right, is that her story then? She's just a big-time smoker. She drinks Jack Daniels. She got a big, huge family. And her name is one of those old lady names. What would be a name that would be completely opposite of what you expect for her? Something that you would not like a man's name, but, something that's... Come on, I guess it depends on how I talk. I couldn't do it that way. All right. Well, anyway, we'll figure it out. We're getting there, ladies and gentlemen. We know who she is, and I think there's a part of me that always knew it was going to be her because she's just screaming for possibilities. Tiffany or Ashley? See, now we're getting there. Just playing with the idea. Oh, Rhonda, man, I'm so bummed. Oh, Matthew, geez. Well, all right. You hang in there if you're in the vicinity of Matthew. I guess we should acknowledge that if you guys are in Florida watching this show, wow. God bless you. Because you got some other things you could be doing. Eva May or Ava May, all of these are good. We're definitely honing in. And so I'll make sure that her first official appearance happens on the show next week or something like that. Okay? I keep looking down because my phone keeps turning off and I need to make it so it won't. Because this is where okay. Here's another idea that I really wanted to bring up to you earlier when we were talking about podcasts and this show in general. So here's an idea that I'm considering, because number one, where I do it, totally up in the air at this point, whether it's on this page or I do it on my timeline. But I was thinking, because yesterday on my Law of Attraction show, I went on and on about, my whole lesson was, if you know what you love to do and you know what you're best at, you know what your passions are, why wouldn't you spend every moment doing that or working towards making that your living? I won't get into that now. I went on and on about it the other day. So, and one of the things that I got really clear on and I shared was that doing these broadcasts is just about my favorite thing on the planet, right? So I thought, well, I should do it more. But I also think, how much more can I do it? I already am up against the clock when I do these Friday things because I'm just busy during the week and whatever. So, but here's the idea that I was thinking of playing with, and you can tell me what you think. I was playing with the idea of doing a daily 30-minute morning show, 7:30 a.m. Pacific time. And the whole it would have a different theme. It would have that goofy morning show type theme, a different set. It would be morning show. And it would just be it couldn't be anything I prepared for. It would just seriously just be 30 minutes of banter and whatever comes out of my mouth, and depending on whoever shows up there. And I thought, well, if I do that every day, Monday through Friday, if I do that or maybe Monday through Thursday, and then Friday I do the Bob Doyle Show or something like that. But more regular, putting it out there, maybe then we could build this audience, because it's making me a little nuts. And I'm really trying to stick to the Bob Doyle Show fan page thing, but that's why we're very excited about it going over to the bobdoyleshow.com page. Because that's where it really should be anyway for building a platform. Right? Everybody go to bobdoyleshow.com, and now we can actually do that. But the nice thing about Facebook is that's where people are, or are they? Maybe everybody's just not on Facebook today. Maybe today they just said, you know what? I'm feeling YouTube-y today. I'm going to over there. But good news is, if you go to bobdoylelive.com, guess what you'll see? This. That's right. Over on YouTube. Last week I got off the show and I went over to YouTube, and people had been chatting there the whole time. I should check right now. Why not? What else we got to do? No, that page. Maybe people are at work. Well, they could be. Snapchat. What? Oh, the Bob Doyle Show is streaming now, it says right there. So I'm sure if I click this, it would go on there. But this says loading over here. This is where the chat would be if it was to chat. Although this is still talking about, I forgot to update the description from the zombie apocalypse episode. That's a mistake. I'll have to be changing. Well, come on. What is it? Just loading. Why is it so slow? We have a very fast internet connection here. But today it's just being okay. Here we go. I got to move my big head. Oh, well, geez. Do you see how this is a 300 baud modem here? All right, so I guess nobody's chatting over here in YouTube, but that's okay. But they could. That's the point. So the show is going there, and it is over here on the bobdoyleshow.com. As you can see, there's me just seconds ago. Remember that? Remember just now when we were over at YouTube? Oh my God, that was a good day. All right. Every time I do the show, I learn something. And then it's one of these things like, next time I'm going to do this so that doesn't happen again. And it takes me about 6 times to actually learn it. But right now, what's really making me crazy is that my notes keep vanishing. Now, I used to print them out, and I'm going to obviously have to start to do that. But what do you think about the morning show idea? You don't know about daily, huh? Don says it's too much. Do you think it's too much because it's too much on me, or that it would just get old? What do you think? Just get old? Because look, not everybody's going to watch every day. It's the whole idea with the frequency is to see when people do show up. Like, Tuesdays are good, or mornings are good, or whatever. And it's kind of research to see where people are, see what their habits are, see, like that, to see what I got to go fish for people. And not everybody's going to go every day. And there are morning shows that air every day all the time anyway. It's a big commitment. If you're just worried about my commitment. So here's my thing on that. You could be right. You could be right that because I have to move this studio into position every day, but it only takes like 2 minutes. And it's really one of those things where I just would be waking up. So you get the early morning Bob. Don thinks it's a lot to put on my shoulders. Well, we can find out. I'm a tester, as you know. I'll try everything. So here's a fun experiment for all of you chemists and biologists out there. What is he talking about? This is a radical change of direction in conversation. Okay, we are no longer talking about characters of any kind or me doing the show. This is just a weird, surreal thing that I'm going to share with you that seems just weird. But you'll try it on your own and you'll see what I'm talking about. You'll never admit it to anybody, but I don't care. I'm going to just do it anyway. Are you ready? Are you prepared? Okay. So, and don't even ask me how I discovered this. I don't know. Just one day. All right. So look, if you take your hands, your fingertips, right, and you gently, stay with me here, and you gently glide them over your skin on your face, just so it's just barely touching, so you get, it sort of tingles. It's like, you know, you're not pushing in. That's a no-no right now. It's just barely touching and moving around. So you get kind of, it's almost like a ticklish feeling, a tingly feeling, and your nerve endings just like wake up. They're like, you know, in response to this. And the more you get to where you're close to shaking or whatever because of it, that's where we wanted to go. And so what happens, yes, it is completely different. So then we of that tingling, what you do is you rub all over your face real hard. You push down and you just like massage your face because your nerve endings are all alive and just like going, what's going on? What's going on? And then you really massage. Whatever chemical gets released in that moment, bottle it up, put it on the shelf. I am a customer. Now you just have to try it. But it is a sure way to get a whoosh of feel-good chemicals rushing through your brain. It only lasts a few seconds. And it takes a while to reset. Because whatever you're doing up there, the nerves, they have to get back to where they were so that this stimulates them in the same again. But I'm just saying, you do that. Just try it. And look, it's a well-known thing in massage. Massage therapists will do that. They'll like gently go up and down your back or whatever and get you that tingling, and then they'll push in. I can't remember the name. Somebody help. That's it. No, sorry. I saw endorphin over here. So that's what it is. It's just endorphins. That feeling is endorphins. But there's a name for that in massage. It starts with an E, and I think there's an FF in it too. Somebody knows. Somebody knows and is keeping it to themselves. But I'm telling you, it's just if you're just having one of those days and you just go, oh, what can I do? And you just that. Trust me, it's, you know. I'm just saying. All right, I have told you that I hate flies. I've told you about coffee in the mornings. Dawn is dubious. I've touched my face. I've showed you the animated sketches. I told you about my birthday tomorrow and that I'll be spending it alone. We've created a character who is a hip old woman who has 40 grandsons, 35 great-grandsons, and drinks and smokes a lot. We'll be learning more about her as we talk to her, I'm sure, as time goes by. There's only two other things I had. Thank you, Dawn. Dawn, she probably Googled it. But that is the word I was looking for. I still effleurage. I don't know. What if Tracy Ransom? Are you still here? I mean, not on the planet, but I've seen you now that you've joined. You're like busted, but are you still here? Or just pop up on? What the hell is he talking about? Odd. Actually, that we were talking about massage and different things like that and body things when Tracy Ransom pops in. Why is it odd? Well, why don't you click on her name and look at her profile and find out for yourself why I say that. All right. So there are two other little things. And these are just random thoughts too. And these are the types of things that I go through my day and go, that would be a fun thing to discuss. And then when I get down to the moment of doing it, I go, oh, Bob, are you really going to even? Because why? Don't. But I'm going to anyway. So, awkward situations, right? Let's think for a minute, because I know I say that and you go, of course, awkward situations. Now let's really shift into the feeling for a second. If you can remember the last, like, really awkward situation where I'm talking about like awkward. And so here's all I'm asking you to play with me on a little bit. To me, awkward is a pretty unique feeling. If you were to describe what is the awkward feeling, like how would you describe awkward? So there's definitely, what immediately came to me is there's definitely an element of embarrassment because you're in a situation and you're kind of embarrassed to be in it. Sometimes the embarrassment is just part of the awkwardness, but is it possible to be in an awkward situation where you're not embarrassed? Is that possible? Oh, what happened? Sorry, my screen went blank. Oh, are you still there? Jeez Louise. Wow, my screen went blank. I haven't touched the screen in long enough. went into sleep mode. Sorry. Can something be awkward and not embarrassing? Or stop it. Or is awkward embarrassing the same thing? If you're embarrassed, is it always awkward? Probably. But if it's awkward, is it always embarrassing? This is what I'm just trying to figure this out, ladies and gentlemen. I think it's really super important, and I don't know how any of you can get through the day without knowing this, without coming to a conclusion. Because the next time you feel awkward, if you can get a handle on your emotions, what am I really feeling here? Am I feeling embarrassed? Am I feeling... You don't think so? To be in an awkward moment, it has to be embarrassing. Jeff Adams has joined. Speaking of awkward and embarrassing, wow, ladies and gentlemen, the timing. Sorry, Jeff, that was not personal, but we were literally just talking about being awkward and embarrassing, and then you popped in, and I'm sorry. It's just, if you'd been here earlier, that wouldn't have happened, and we wouldn't have all shared that moment and called all this attention to you. Ladies and gentlemen, Jeff Adams, another person whose name you can click and follow. He also does an internet program like this with a set that's much nicer than mine in that it is real. Unlike this digital collection of pixels behind me, he has a structure. It's really nice. Could be awkward and funny. So I guess I'm looking for a situation where if it's awkward, you could feel awkward yet not be embarrassed. Because my thesis statement here is that awkward is in and of itself a unique emotion that has elements of embarrassment, but it seems like there's something else, like the oh my God, I just want to be out of here and die. Not in that order, whatever. Like when you're in an awkward situation, it's not just embarrassing. Although, when you're embarrassed, don't you also just want it to end? So is awkward and embarrassment the same time? So, the same thing. So when you're in a situation and somebody goes, awkward, could they just as easily say, embarrassing? Probably most of the time. But I just feel like there's some instance. Look, guys, 40 shows, they can't all be great. Every now and then you're going to have one of these where it's like, okay, I don't know what he's doing. He got 8 of us in here. I don't know how he did it, but I don't think we really talked about anything. Okay. It's the challenge of defying the logic. I don't know what that means. Don't have the context for it. Here's the last thing I'll say. So coming up in November, Robert Hicks and that whole gang over at Enlightened what? Help me out. Just type it in. Sorry, I had a thing. But this whole little network of people who do internet shows, and I hope it's okay to say this, we're going to do a whole 24-hour deal. Show. And, but I had been thinking almost since the beginning of the show that one day I would want to do a 24-hour broadcast. Now, Dawn, don't jump in here and be concerned about my well-being. Thought about it a long time ago. Do 24 hours of the show. It would take a little planning, and there would be repeat material. There's no question. But that whole idea. But then I was thinking just last night, again, revisiting that idea of doing a 24-hour show. And what I would do. Now, again, this is an idea that seemed really good at about 11:45 last night. I was just falling asleep. But to write a book called the 24-Hour Broadcast Ideas Book or something like that. It wouldn't be called that, but that's what it would be. It would just be a book of like 500 different things you could talk about if you ever do a 24-hour live broadcast. I know that's a stretch, but basically it would be, I would have some time to write 500 random things that I could, and then I would actually self-publish the book. Now look, any of you people steal this, I'm going to come after you. Publish the book. Right now you're going, don't worry. But then one day you'll go, oh, I should have. But then, no, you shouldn't, because then I'll say, look, I did it first. You obviously stole it, And then it's just a big smear campaign. No one wants that. But then when I do the 24-hour show, I would use my book and consult that. And it basically be like open up to a random page. It would be 100 things, right? I think 2,500 things. Maybe I could come up with 1,000 things to talk about on a live. And of course, they're going to be random and stupid and weird because you got to fill 24 hours. I'm not CNN, right? But then, of course, during that 24-hour thing, we'd be selling that book. It'd be over at Amazon, right? And we'd see how many we could sell. What do you think? Mugs too. Look, during the 24 hours, we're gonna have to move some merchandise. We're gonna have to see how many people we can get in the room at one time. Because look, 24-hour show. There's gonna be some times when I'm talking to myself. If it's noon on Friday and I can get 7 of you in here, what are the odds of 3 a.m.? Sarah Jane can join me. I'll get on my UK people then, and they're going to see me at the worst time, right? When I'm in, hour number 20. CNN does just keep running the same stuff over and over, and I would not do that. There might be something I repeat a couple of times or so. Yeah, I could tie it to a charity event. I thought about that. Like, what if I do a 24-hour event? How can I make it something that benefits somebody? I could, I guess. Quite frankly, I'd like to benefit the Bob Doyle Show. The Bob Doyle Show could use some resources, right? The Bob Doyle Show could use a little investment capital to expand its operations. Can't just give it all away. So in Slovenia, it's 22 is 10 o'clock. So wow, it's 10 p.m. where you are. My energy probably doesn't match 10 p.m. I mean, you get me at my most caffeinated, and now it's 10 p.m. where you are, and you're probably like winding down. My morning show would be better for you, because at least I'd be I don't know, I'd be caffeinating then too. I don't know. I just don't know. Have a couple of guests come in when I'm showering or whatever. Yes. Well, I like the idea of having guests come in, a guest host, like let Lynn go for 30 minutes or something, or my friend Rachel come in and just say, don't touch anything, just talk and be charming, and respond to comments. That's an idea. Just do a 24-hour broadcast, but every now and then take it. I mean, obviously, I have to eat. I'm not going to eat in front of you, right? A Bobathon. Sure, absolutely. It sounds fun to me. Now, the thing about these 24-hour deals is they don't, if you do a 24-hour broadcast, which you can do now, you can do these long-form things here on Facebook. If I do it in Facebook, it doesn't get recorded. But I would have a backup copy and all that. And I would still be going to, I think on that one, I'd say, look, guys, you have to do it over. I'm laughing at Don's comment that you can't see, or yes, you can't see it yet, as I say this. Anyway, now I'm all, Bobathon, I gotta stop reading comments. It's the end of the show. And my brain is done. I think my brain was done with this show about 3 minutes in. I'm not sure. But look, the bottom line is we've got a character. We know a little bit about her. We will learn more about her, and she'll be on the show next week. Please go tune in, bobdoyleshow.com/podcast.
It's the Bob Doyle Show.
And everyone laugh at Dawn's line about Depends, the adult diaper that I could wear to do the show without ever having to get up. That's the humor there. Otherwise, we will see you, Wednesday or something for the Bob Doyle Show Law of Attraction next Friday and throughout the week with whatever I feel like doing, and that could include a morning show or not, or just random show at Bob Doyle Show.